This is We the People with Forrest Wilson.
We the people. We the people tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We the people are the driver. The government is the car. And we decide where it should go and by what route and how fast.
And now, here is Forrest Wilson.
Okay, we're back. Forrest Wilson. It's been 4 years since I've been behind the mic, and a lot's happened since that time. I want to relate to you that the last time I did a broadcast on another station, I think it was a Clear Channel station, I was the president of a relatively good-sized mortgage company. We operated in 5 states. We had a call center in Kentucky, and our operations center was in Jacksonville, Florida. And I was very concerned about the direction of the country and what was happening. And I took to the mic in the airwaves, and I had no idea what was about to happen next. I found myself and my company in 4 simultaneous audits. It was 3 of the 5 states that I operated in and the federal government through Housing and Urban Development. And since we're talking about regulation and the economy and everything that's happened, I wanted to relate that to you and let you know that I made it through those audits, but Frank Dodd was really the end of the independent mortgagee. The independent mortgage companies, kind of the last bastion of the free enterprise of the banking system. And if you don't think that the federal government has its eye on you and your industry and what you do, then you're sadly mistaken. And I hope today that I can introduce you to this federal government. And one of the things that I was looking at when I was preparing for the show is I wanted to know the list of federal agencies. How many of them are there? And it turns out that the list, this is just the list. It just lists the name of it, not the address or the phone number or anything like that. The list itself is 8 pages. And there are 530 federal agencies of the federal government. And I believe each of those has rule-making authority. In other words, they can write a regulation, put it on the Federal Register, and then the Congress has 60 days to take it up. Well, you can imagine if they all wrote one at the same time and stuck it in there, the Congress would have to take up 530 different rules. And I think this has a lot to do with why we've seen a reduction in the launching of small businesses or really any type of business. Another one of the things that I came across, and I got to point this out to you. When you go to the USA.gov website, where the list of the 530 federal agencies is, it says up at the top, they've got the USA.gov logo, and it says government made easy. I don't think there's anything easy about government. Hey, Jack, if we wanted to take a call, how do I do it?
Just put them on the air.
You just put them on the. Do we have to give them the phone number?
I would.
What's the phone number to this esteemed radio station?
You can sit right in front of you. You've got it. I don't. They don't want me to play with the phones.
Oh, okay. What do I give them the guest line?
Sure.
904-296-2543. 904-296-2543. I guess that's the guest. Is that the guest line or the call-in line? Anyways,
we'll get them.
Yeah, you can call that number, and if you want to talk to us, you can talk to us about this topic. But anyways, going back to USA.gov, government made easy. I mean, is that a joke? I mean, it's just amazing. Okay, so then I switch over to the IRS.gov website, and I find something on the website. Now, this is by their own admission, and apparently this was written by the TAS, which is the Taxpayer Advocate Service. I guess they help you if you get in Dutch with the IRS. There's I don't know how many pages this thing is. It's long. There's a 12-page treatment of the most serious problems facing people who try to use a tax code. It's called The Complexity of the Tax Code. And right up front, definition of the problem. The most serious problem facing taxpayers is the complexity of the Internal Revenue Code. Now, I also tried to find out exactly how many pages this code is, and there are conflicting, in other words, different websites that tell you the different number of pages. but one of their bullet points is, the code has grown so long that it has become challenging even to figure out how long it is. Well, no kidding. And then there's some more information here. Let's see. A 2005 report by a tax research organization put the number of words at 2.1 million. 2.1 million words, and notably found that the number of words in the code has more than tripled since 1975. I mean, this is astounding. What purpose does a tax code with over 2 million words serve? I mean, what was the last book you read? Have you read a book lately? 500, 600, 700 pages? Give it 1,000. You would never get through the tax code. It would take your entire life. And let me tell you this. The tax code does serve a purpose. Unfortunately, it doesn't serve the people. It serves those political elites in power. I was astounded at what I found out about our government, but I think it's important that you get to know the government. And one thing is the size of it. It is truly daunting. And I also found some more information regarding the national debt, which a lot of people talk about. I mean, but this article, if I can find it in my stack of stuff here, really puts it together and puts it in terms that, if you're not paying attention, you can understand it. And this is on the Heritage Foundation's website, and I found this fascinating. It says, what if a typical family spent money like the federal government? And they relate it to the median family household income, which is $52,000. And they said, okay, if you were the federal government, if you spent like the federal government, being that you had a median family income of $52,000, if you spent money like the federal government, you'd spend $64,000 a year, which would mean you'd put $12,000 on your credit card every year. So despite all of that, you would be approximately, if you were comparing to the federal government, you'd be $312,000 in debt. Now you might say, oh, well, that's my house. No, this is not your asset. This is not your home. This is $312,000 in basically unsecured debt. So $52,000, you spend $64,000 a year, you put $12,000 on the credit card, and you've got $312,000 in debt, unsecured debt. Now, our debt, the United States government secured largely by the Chinese, which we've been talking about. And I just wonder, I mean, what is the prospect for the future for this country? It does not look good. I'm very concerned about it, and that's why I came back to the radio. By the way, I started in radio 25 years ago. I worked for Central Intelligence Agency, and I did covert communications, as well as some special ops and other things that I did from time to time. But that was my first gig in radio. Now, I didn't get to talk to the public, but we certainly communicated with assets in other countries. But going back to my experience with speaking out, so I found myself in 4 simultaneous audits, literally 3 state agencies and 1 federal agency. I wound up closing my business in December of 2010. I laid off the remaining personnel, and I tried to figure out what I was going to do next. I mean, I had a family to support and a lot of things to take care of, as you can imagine. Winding down a business with 50 employees operating in 5 states is not a walk in the park. But for anybody who is in that particular state right now, you've got to understand that one of the things that we've got to do going forward is we've got to limit the power and scope of the federal government. I think that is the only chance, and I think that's one of the problems that we've got, in addition to free trade with China. But one of the reasons why we don't manufacture, for example, toys and go-karts here is simply because we can't. The regulatory environment's so difficult to operate in, and there's literally, in my case, if you speak out, you may face some intimidation by various agencies of the federal government, of which there are 530 currently. I want to go back and talk about this Monica Lewinsky thing. By the way, there's a lot of talk about possible 2016 presidential contenders, one of them Hillary Clinton. And, I got my bumper sticker for Hillary. I got it the other day, and I'm putting it on the front of my car. It says "Run, Hillary, run." So I'm hoping that she's going to run. But one of the things that I think she's behind is, in some way, is either defending or encouraging others to speak out against Monica Lewinsky. But the problem with the Monica Lewinsky affair is this. She was having an affair with Bill Clinton, the sitting president at the time. And, in the intelligence community, one of the things, at least when I was in it, one of the things that they really prohibited was certain activities that would open you to blackmail. For example, adultery, at the time, homosexuality, and some of the other various things that are out there that men and women can get involved in. But when you've got the security clearance, the highest in the land, which the president has, he sees all of the intel through the National Intelligence Daily, the NID. That's a report that winds up on the president's desk every morning. I don't know if our president reads it, but it winds up there. And the problem with Bill Clinton and the problem with what he did was not that it was a private matter. It really wasn't. Public officials have a responsibility. In the case of Bill Clinton, he had the highest security clearance in the land, and he had to be held to an account because he really opened himself up for blackmail. That is one of the things that, for example, when I went into the intel community, they did a polygraph, and they spent a great deal of time on activities that I conducted prior to going to work for CIA. And one of them was, have you had any homosexual activity? And, just things that would open me to blackmail if I was concealing it. And certainly they do not do anything regarding polygraphing our presidents. But certainly they should be held to account when there's something as serious as a potential breach, such as Monica Lewinsky. But I found it really interesting what Tina Brown had to say about her, because she goes on and outside the clip, she says in her article on Daily Beast, hat tip to Daily Beast, by the way, remember them? Treacherous thatched roof-haired drag queen Linda Tripp with those Dress for Success shoulder pads. Well, yeah, I remember Linda Tripp. I didn't know she was a drag queen, but apparently this entire article is a hit piece on the women. It has nothing to do with the two predators, Anthony Weiner. In fact, they're not even mentioned in here, or Bill Clinton. And I think Bill Clinton's predatory activities are well documented. But it's amazing that the left says there's a war on women, and then you've got this woman, Tina Brown, coming out and speaking horrendously about two victims, really Monica Lewinsky and this Sydney Leathers. She was the woman who Anthony Weiner sent various nude photographs to via some sort of social media. In any event, I hope that Mother's Day is good for mothers everywhere, and I hope that any of the mothers and females listen. You have to know that this quote-unquote war on women is being perpetrated by the left. I don't believe that any of the people on the right or conservatives would have anything to do with the war on women. So with that, I'm sitting here looking at Jack. Jack, do we have a break coming up here? You see, I'm just getting used to all this. Next week will be better. You ready? No, it won't. Is that what you said? Did you say no, it won't? AM 600, The Answer.
Joking.
Forrest Wilson. The Resistance. We're back. AM 600, The Answer. Forrest Wilson, The Resistance. And Bill Clinton is prepared to make an apology to, I guess, his wife and Monica Lewinsky. I'm not sure why he's apologizing to Monica, but apparently this is all to set the stage so that Hillary doesn't have the baggage of Bill when she makes her run for 2016. But, there's no mention of Joe Biden. I wonder how Joe is going to overcome his stain of the current administration and his activities over the last 8 years. But I actually got a copy of this particular apology. I don't think anybody's heard it before. You would be, I believe this would be the first broadcast of this apology by Bill Clinton regarding Monica Lewinsky. And I'm looking at Jack. Jack's not looking at me. Jack, you there? Jack's running the board. You know, this is literally my first day after being out of this business for 4 years. So I'm at a new radio station. I'm getting used to the board. I literally walked in here cold today. I'd never sat at this board before, and I still don't know how to use it. But let's see if I can get Jack's. Oh, there he is, Jack. Do you want to play Bill Clinton's apology? It's coming right up. Okay.
I'm going to say this again.
Oh, no, not that one. Not that
I did.
That's his admission. What I want to hear his apology. Have you got it? Okay, hit it.
Bill Clinton?
Yeah, it's. I think it's the family. Yes, that one. Okay, here it is.
My fellow Americans, I have not been entirely truthful with you. I did gagoogity that girl. I geschmoigeried her geflavity with my googus. And I am sorry.
Thank you. We've waited quite some time. If you recall, Bill Clinton was impeached in the House of Representatives on 2 counts, perjury and obstruction of justice. And then in the Senate, they acquitted him. So he stayed in office for the remainder of his term. I actually met Bill Clinton at CIA headquarters. And I think it was, it's all that's a fog to me. But I think it was sometime around 1994, maybe 1995, apparently when this tryst had begun. But I met him there right in the entryway to Langley, and very engaging guy. Somebody literally that you would want to have a beer with Bill Clinton. But the problem with all of this was how this really endangered the American public and national security. And in any event, I hope that we can put forth a candidate through the Republican Party that can defeat anything that the Democrats put up. Now, I'm very concerned about the Republicans as well. Look, we didn't wind up with 530 federal agencies and a tax code that is so long they can't even tell us how big it is without some help from Republicans. And if there's any hope for this nation and any hope for us, it will be the defeat of the federal government. I would say that it is a bigger threat to the safety and security of this country, certainly the economy, than Al-Qaeda or any of the other groups out there that are currently aligned. I do want to parse out Bill Clinton's words as it relates to when all this went down. He made certain statements to the American public regarding this affair. And, words are very important, and the use of them, Bill Clinton was a master at the use of words. But I want you to play that clip of Bill Clinton regarding Monica Lewinsky.
I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky.
Did you hear him beating the desk? And if you notice the choice, I think she was about 21 or 22 when all this took place. And, she was definitely very much a kid, if you will. But technically she was a woman. But he used the term woman, and then instead of saying Monica Lewinsky or Monica, he said Miss Lewinsky, as though to give her some sort of, I guess, elevate her from being the child that she was and him being the predator that he is. But I found that very interesting. Now, also, if you notice, you could hear him beating the desk, right? He was literally beating the desk. This is another clip. This is a Republican apologizing to the nation. Play that other clip for me.
I have never obstructed justice. And I think, too, that I can say that in my years of public life, that I welcome this kind of examination because people have got to know whether or not their president is a crook. Well, I'm not a crook.
Well, technically, he's right. Richard Nixon was not a crook. He was also beating the podium. And I guess Bill Clinton studied Richard Nixon's apology to the nation, if you will. because he did the same exact, his body language was the same. He beat the podium. But also notice how Richard Nixon says, I'm not a crook. No, technically it was burglary that really brought Richard Nixon down, the break-in at the Watergate Hotel into the Democratic National. Jack's holding up a sign, 2 minutes to break. So, yes, he took all the cues from Richard Nixon in his apology to the American public. But look, can't we find someone other than a Clinton or a Bush to run for the highest office in the land? I hope we can. And I certainly hope you'll tune in next week. And all of our sponsors, I want to thank you for bringing this program back on the air. And again, I apologize if you wind up in an audit. But I sincerely hope you don't. We'll be back next week at about 2 o'clock with Jack, and he's waving his hand at me. And perhaps we'll let you call in and discuss what's on your mind as well. This is Forrest Wilson. You're listening to The Resistance, AM 600 The Answer. I want to thank you again for tuning in today. Stay safe. Happy Mother's Day. And I look forward to speaking with you next week.